Hello guys and welcome to today's video. In this guide I'm gonna show you how to build this Slovakian castle and will show you all stages of today's build. Enjoy the video! As usual, we're gonna start off with the block palette. For this build we're gonna go with a nice transition from jungle planks, over stripped jungle log, to stripped birch log, to smooth sandstone. For the roof we will have two copper combinations, the first being cut copper stairs and exposed cut copper stairs, and the other one being a combination out of weathered and oxidized cut copper stairs. For this build I would suggest going with a very flat area. In this example I took the plains biome. We will place the layout of the building a few blocks above ground to be able to terraform a small hill under it once we are done with the castle itself. I noticed that Slovakian castles are always built up in a kind of circle shape. Therefore we will start the layout by placing multiple shapes for the buildings in a circle-like formation, with walls in between to connect them, and of course some tower shapes now and then. For bigger builds like this one, I generally recommend using multiple types of colors for the shapes, to make the layout easier to understand. I decided to use orange and purple for the buildings, pink for the walls and blue for the towers. In the middle of this bigger circle we want to place again a smaller circle consisting out of buildings and walls as well. Make sure to make one building of the outer circle touch the inner circle so that there is a connection between both circles. Next we can start putting up the structures. Obviously we want to make the towers always a little bit bigger than the buildings and the walls always a little bit shorter. Make sure to also add a small height variation to the different buildings. Generally, we want to make the structures of the inner circle taller than the outer circle. This will make the castle look way busier. On the front side of the castle, we want to add a small extra wall as a kind of primitive first protection from the enemy. We will make them much shorter than the rest of the castle though. To achieve an actual castle look, we will always add these triangle-shaped wall extensions at both ends of every building. In between of them we will embed the roofs later. For the bigger towers we will also add those bigger circles on the upper part as a small little detail. On top of the later to be roofed building sides, we will also add these small arches where we will later place windows inside. As another alternative to those arches, I also sometimes simply placed 1x2 blocked spikes. For some of the smaller towers we will add battlements on top and a smaller groove below them as a nice little detail. I also like to replace the corner blocks of all 3x3 block towers with wall blocks to make them more round shaped. Simply replace the part of the structure where you want a loophole with a stair and another stair upside down on top of it. Add those loopholes all over the castle. Inside of the windows and loopholes I decided to place spruce trapdoors all the time to give them a nice contrast. Now that we're done with the shapes, we will add our jungle planks to smooth sandstone transition into the entire build. For the roofs of the towers, we will go with a rather pointy shape using copper blocks and granite walls. For the walls and buildings, we will go with common copper stair roofs. For some buildings we will go with less oxidized copper and for some with more oxidized copper, to add a little variation. Now that we're done with the castle itself, we can go to the surroundings. But before we do that, we will need to pull the entire little front wall down to the ground level, and of course add the same jungle plank to smooth sandstone fade as well. Next we will remove all nearby ponds and clear out the surrounding areas. After that we will add little hills leading from the floor level up to the castle and a small riverbed all around the build, which we of course fill up with water. I then decided to add some moss patches around the water to make it look muddy and wet. In between of the moss and grass blocks we also wanna place some coarse dirt. Of course our castle needs an entrance. That's why I built this cute little bridge with 3 arches leading over the river. For the pathways we will use sand, since it really fits to the castle's color. To make the little front wall look a little older, we will make it very overgrown by using vines and acacia leaves. By adding some custom oak and spruce trees in different sizes all around the castle, we can fill up all the empty spaces. To finish today's build off, we will add some grass and flowers all over the area. That's it for this video. I think we did very well on this classical Slovakian castle. Subscribe if you don't want to miss out on any further building tutorials like this one, and make sure to let me know if you have any tips and suggestions. Thank you very much for watching and see you in the next video.